RHOBH Kyle Richards erases Mauricio Umansky in symbolic way. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Kyle Richards seems determined to erase Mauricio Umansky from her life, and she has new jewelry without his initials on it. The news came on Mother's Day shortly after Bravo fans found out that he'd moved into a new condo in West Hollywood. RHOBH Kyle Richards and talks of divorce. There's been a lot of talk about the estranged couple getting divorced. However, in the report about the new condo, it seems that their financial assets are so convoluted that they might not bother with it for now. However, there's so much talk about the RHOBH couple that sources sometimes contradict each other. Kyle Richards heard stories that Mauricio Umansky cheats on her, and that would make any woman feel insecure. It all seems a terrible pity. After all, she and her ex raised nice kids together. Money, businesses, investments, property, and popularity all seemed to be at their fingertips, but it wasn't enough to safeguard their devotion to each other. And now it seems that all hope is gone. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star erases Mauricio Umansky. On Mother's Day, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star took to her Instagram stories and shared a photo of a necklace. She didn't say who gave it to her, but probably one of her daughters did. She tagged it SIGWARDGUELR as she displayed the golden necklace that said KRE. Bravo star Kyle Richards also said in her overlaid text, "Of course that might mean that she bought it for herself. In the olden days, she would sometimes wear jewelry with a U in it, which is obviously because her husband's surname is Umansky." According to page 6, KRE stands for Kyle Egan Richards. Kyle changed her Instagram name. Bravo fans noticed that recently, the RHOBH star dropped the name Umansky from her Instagram profile page. On Reddit, an OP wrote, "It was definitely changed today, yes." She also posted her Mother's Day necklace today, which has her KER initials, so seems she's reverting to that elsewhere too. Mao had changed his bio, removing the married to Kyle Richards 18 a week or two ago as well, IRC. "I swear I spotted in the newest season she was carrying luggage or a bag that was KR and not KRU like before. Any long-term relationship ending really is sad. Certainly am curious as to why things went down like they did though." Kyle Richards stood at the edge of her backyard, her arms crossed tightly against the crisp evening air. The sprawling Beverly Hills estate she had called home for years felt different now, almost like a stranger. Tonight, it was hosting a carefully curated event that was about to make headlines, a gallery unveiling of sorts. Only this wasn't just any art collection. It was an exhibition of Kyle's life, told through objects, photographs, and memories she had painstakingly selected over the past few months. The centerpiece of the event stood in the middle of the manicured garden, illuminated by delicate string lights that created a warm, ethereal glow. It was a towering sculpture, modern yet organic, made entirely of fragments of mirrors. The artist Kyle had commissioned explained it as a piece about identity and reflection, but for Kyle, it meant something far more personal. This sculpture was her declaration of independence, a symbolic way to erase the shadows of Mauricio Umansky from her narrative. Guests began to arrive, the familiar faces of Beverly Hills elite mingling with artists, influencers, and a few of Kyle's closest friends from the cast. Dorrit Kemsley arrived first, her glittering gown catching every glimmer of light. She greeted Kyle with a tight hug, her signature platinum blonde waves cascading perfectly over her shoulder. "Darling, this is stunning," Dorrit said, gesturing to the sculpture. "It's so raw, yet powerful." Kyle offered a small smile. "That's exactly what I wanted, something honest." Teddi Mellencamp arrived next, her casual yet chic outfit a contrast to Dorrit's high glam look. Teddi was always the grounding force in Kyle's life, and tonight, she brought that same calming energy. "How are you holding up?" Teddi asked, pulling Kyle aside as more guests trickled in. "I'm okay," Kyle said, though her voice wavered slightly. "Tonight is important. It's not just about letting go of the past, it's about embracing who I am now." By the time the event was in full swing, Kyle had greeted nearly everyone. Still, there was an undercurrent of anticipation in the air. Everyone knew why they were here, to witness the moment Kyle publicly redefined herself, and the sculpture wasn't the only part of the evening's symbolism. At exactly 8 p.m., Kyle took the stage, a small platform set up near the sculpture. She wore a sleek black dress, her hair styled in loose waves. She looked radiant but somber, a woman who had weathered storms and come out stronger. "Thank you all for being here tonight," Kyle began, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. "This event is not just about art. It's about transformation, healing, and growth. As many of you know, the past year has been a journey for me. A journey of rediscovering who I am outside of the roles I've played for so long." She paused, scanning the crowd. She could see her daughter's supportive smiles, the nods of encouragement from her closest friends. And somewhere in the back, she knew the cameras were rolling, capturing every moment for the next season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. "For a long time, my identity was intertwined with someone else's," Kyle continued, her voice growing stronger. "And while I am grateful for the memories and the life we built together, it's time for me to step into my own light." With that, she stepped aside, and the sculpture came alive. A hidden mechanism caused the mirrored fragments to shift and rotate, reflecting the crowd, the garden, and the night sky in an ever-changing mosaic. It was mesmerizing, a visual representation of how pieces could come together to create something entirely new. But the real surprise came moments later. A series of projections lit up the sculpture, displaying images from Kyle's life. There were pictures of her as a young actress, moments with her daughters, and snapshots of her thriving career. Absent from the montage, however, were any images of Mauricio. It was a subtle yet unmistakable omission, one that spoke volumes. The crowd murmured softly, a mix of admiration and curiosity buzzing through the air. Lisa Rinna, never one to shy away from drama, leaned over to Erica Jane and whispered, "Well, she's certainly making a statement tonight." Erica smirked. Good for her. Sometimes you have to rewrite the narrative. As the projections faded, the crowd erupted into applause. Kyle stepped back onto the platform, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "This sculpture, this evening is my way of saying goodbye to the past and hello to the future," she said. "Thank you all for supporting me as I find my way. Here's to new beginnings." The applause was thunderous, and as Kyle stepped down, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Dorrit and Teddy were the first to reach her, their hugs warm and reassuring. "You did it, babe," Teddy said. "You've turned the page." Over the course of the evening, Kyle mingled with her guests, receiving congratulations and compliments on the event. But as the night wore on, she found herself standing alone by the sculpture, gazing at her reflection in its fragmented surface. For the first time in a long while, she didn't see herself as part of a pair. She saw herself as a whole, complex and evolving person. "Penny for your thoughts," a familiar voice said behind her. It was Kathy Hilton, her sister, whose relationship with Kyle had been fraught in recent years but was slowly mending. Kyle turned, a small smile playing on her lips. "Just thinking about how far I've come." Kathy nodded, her expression softening. "You've always been strong, Kyle. You just needed to see it for yourself." As the evening wound down, Kyle felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. The event had been more than a success. It had been a catharsis. And while the future was still unwritten, she was ready to face it with open arms and an open heart. For Kyle Richards, this night wasn't just about erasing Mauricio. It was about reclaiming herself. And as she stood in the glow of the sculpture, surrounded by friends and loved ones, she knew she had done just that.